No audio. What's going on, everybody? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. I am so sorry. The music was playing over here. It is beautiful. I thought it was being shared with you. I have over here system audio. There's obviously an issue with the driver. There's an issue with the audio driver. I emailed support for Ecamm Live yesterday, and whatever. I thought it was working because it was working yesterday. Either which way, I'll make sure that tomorrow morning it's definitely working before we go live. We have no audio to share. That's okay. And it's so funny. Life is beautiful. Life is so beautiful, right? And I was just thinking, wow, how important the music is. How important that music is every morning. How much I look forward to that when I get to meet and greet all of you, to see how you're doing, to go ahead and get ready for this new day together, to bring back all the wonderful memories that we have shared together. It's very, very important. Nevertheless, this session is going to be absolute fire. Looking forward to it so much. I prepared for it. Have so much to share with you. So much to talk about. We're going to do as much as we can, as quick as we can. It's going to be absolute fire. So let's jump into it, because this morning we have a training session. So we could go for about an hour, and then I have to prepare for that. Great morning. Great morning. I'm so sorry we didn't have the music, and I say I'm so sorry because it's so important, right? Yeah, Brandon, that's beautiful. That's what's amazing, Brandon. That's what's amazing over here, is because so many people are doing so well. So many people are doing so well. It's ridiculous. And that's how it should be, right? But a bunch of people putting their minds together, right? That's exactly how it should be. I don't know if that occurs anywhere else. I don't think that occurs anywhere else as it does here, as methodically as it does over here. Did you buy the dip? If you missed the dip under $20,000, remember Bitcoin then went into 40,000 really quick, 20 days. This is your opportunity to buy it under 30,000. That was right over here when we released that tweet over there. That was that 30% pullback. We would have been consolidating for about 30 days. That tweet was put out right as Bitcoin came under $30,000 and spiked down over here below it. Since then, Bitcoin is up 80%, and it's only been what? It doesn't even feel like it. First of all, it's been probably about, I don't know how many days that is actually. So we're going from the 22nd to the 15th, almost a month, almost as long as it was pulled back, and it's up over here 80%. Doesn't even feel like it. And $51,000 Bitcoin does not feel remotely expensive at all. It still feels cheap, and it feels cheap for good reason. We've talked about that often. That's what we do over here. And if you're new here, I'm so glad that you are. I'm so glad that you are. You have no idea what you're in for, and I'm happy to share this with all of you. So anyway, over here, Bitcoin this morning, as I look at price, you can see Bitcoin coming up, testing this channel. This was the resistance. Remember that channel we were tracking? You look at it on the 2 hour. I could just clone this, put it down here. I took it away because we broke out to the upside. You see the breakout, the retest, the resumption off, coming in for another retest right now, right? Resuming off this, it could get crazy. And that's how Bitcoin feels right now. Like it could get crazy to the upside. And that's because it's in price discovery here at the bullish phase of its 4-year cycle. Now, it's going to, several months from now, it's going to be euphoric. It's going to be a bubble. You're going to see tons of FOMO taking place, and it's going to be, that's not what's happening right now. Right now, Bitcoin is just being Bitcoin, right? What's next? All right, what are we looking at over here? The comments over here are absolutely phenomenal, right? Yep. Look, like if you read the comments that are being shared over here, it's just, anyway, thank you so much for sharing with me. Thank you so much for sharing with me. What are we looking at? This is an important question I want to cover this morning with you. It came up twice yesterday. Do I think that we're likely to see a double wave, right? We put out a video early in January talking about the possibility of a double wave. Remember in January when Bitcoin in 20 days went up to $40,000, from $20,000 to $40,000? And I said, if it keeps going vertical and resembles like the first wave of the first cycle, then we're going to have to watch out because we could see a bigger drawdown. Right? That didn't happen. We had the 30% pullback. We seem to be pretty well between the first and second cycle, pretty much average between them. It doesn't look like that we're having a double wave bull market phase, but look at the pi cycle, like the pi cycle over here, right? By the way, I'm looking to Bitcoin. I subscribe to their Patreon I think it's called, so that I could use their Pi cycle indicator on TradingView, right? It's done only on the daily time frame, and when I look at it, I use the Brave New Coin liquid index for Bitcoin. Now, I could show you also what it's like on the normal Bitstamp chart that I look at, right? And you can see it's the same exact thing. But the reason that I use Brave New Coin, the liquid index for Bitcoin, because it goes back all the way to inception. It's including before Mt. Gox and the Mt. Gox data. It's a little different than what most people have, and I like to be able to go back and look at it all. So over here, people are saying, well, it looks to me like we're going to get a Pi cycle cross. Now, the Pi cycle, by the way, only used on the daily, has given the perfect exit over here for the last bull market cycle. And then in the previous bull market cycle, for each of the two waves, it gave a good exit. The second one, the one that counted, it gave a perfect exit. This one a little bit early, but still pretty good, right? So either which way, keep in mind a couple of things. The Pi cycle is used in conjunction with the R-Holder ratio. This is showing us, you can see over here, this zone over here, that's red over here. That means that this is the cycle top when you get the price action giving you the exit, right? You can see each peak, not the first one where you had a Pi cycle cross. That, how would you know at that time? And you wouldn't at that time because we didn't have any model to go off of, right? If you were trading Bitcoin, you were just trying to get Bitcoin in 2011, right? You weren't trying to trade it. You were trying to get it if it was even possible for you to get it, right? But I'm just talking about the market dynamics that was going on over there. If it were a liquid market at the time, and it's what's happening now. It wasn't as liquid. It's completely different. Okay. Either which way, you could see that the R-Holder over here at this particular point right here, when you got the Pi cycle cross, was not showing that it was overbought. So it wasn't time to exit, but it did get every other top, which is really important as we get up over here. We see that right now. We have many different factors. Someone mentioned yesterday in either the YouTube comments or on Twitter that what they really like and learn, that they're not looking for a price target so much as a timing target. They have a window where they're going to be looking for the exit at the top of the bull market cycle, right? Now, does that start towards the end of September 21st? Yeah. Will that be it? I don't know, but that's kind of our area. That's the drop zone. We're getting ready. This, when the R-Holder is also over, not as soon as the R-Holder becomes overbought, am I going to be like, oh, it's time to exit. No, I'm watching price because overbought could remain overbought for an extended period of time. You're talking big gains between here and here. Just within a few days, you saw massive gains in December 2017 on Bitcoin. Days, right? Forget about a week. So back to Pi cycle, though. It looks like we're getting across. People are worried. It looks like we're getting across. And if we get across, that looks like it's going to mean that maybe we're going to have a double wave. It's something that we have to be aware of. It's something that we have to watch out for. To me, it doesn't appear that's happening or even close. I see the two getting closer together. Drop back to real time with me. By the way, if you are enjoying the video, George, thanks for being here. Thanks for helping make this experience so beautiful. But everyone, please go ahead. If you like anything that you're hearing, if you want to learn more, go ahead and smash the like button. Smash the like button. But over here, you can see this is the Pi cycle. I'm looking at it on a chart where I could kind of be more interactive with you, but it's showing the exact same thing that this is showing over here. You could see the two lines getting closer to each other. People are worried. And listen, if all of a sudden price moves into $100,000 and that happens relatively quickly, is it possible we get across and a double wave? It's still possible. It's an outside possibility, but it's possible. Right now, it does not look at all like it's getting ready to cross. You could see in the past, you could see once it got close, you could see for an extended period of time. This is from Bitcoin over here where they look really close right over here. Bitcoin's trading in August about 4 months before it peaked, and it's trading at $2,500. And you could see that they remained close and both started sloping more vertically upwards. So it's not as if the orange line is going to be able to catch up so quickly. It's going to take some time, and it's going to take price really rising for that to happen. We're not close to a look over here. You can see also in each instance that you see they both start going vertical before you get the actual cross. We still got a while to go. It could potentially happen if we went into 100,000 very quickly or thereabouts, and we'll track it. but I don't think that's going to happen. If we come into 70,000 within the next 30 days, within the next 45 days, right? Do you remember I was saying we're going to see, I believe, 70,000? I said within 60 days, and that was taking us back as we were breaking. What am I looking at? Palladium? Let me pull up Bitcoin over here. As we were coming out over here, let me hide the Pi cycle over there. Great questions. Thanks for bringing that to attention. It was Andreas who first thought of it. And also over here, we have, let me go ahead and like that and say thank you. Appreciate that. Good questions. Really important stuff that we need to focus on and continue to focus in on. And it's an ongoing, evolving situation. We were over here. We were somewhere around $34,000, I think, $35,000 about a week ago or more when I started saying within 60 days we would see $70,000. Let's see what happens. We'll keep going. By the way, when that happened, as that's happening, we could go ahead and we can consult over here our log scale resistance lines. This is Will's chart over here. He'll zoom in as we get closer, and we need to see exactly when we're coming into, but it looks to me around $70,000 for this particular time where we are right now. It looks to me, this is a weekly chart. This was shared about a month ago. It looks to me it would be about 70 or thereabouts. All right. So what's next? Where are we going? Jordan, been following your YouTube channel for a few months, and I know you plan on exiting Bitcoin around September. Excellent. Pays attention. Not September, around September. And you said all exits, exit alts 2 weeks later, thereabouts, right? My question is, would you plan on exiting crypto stocks like MicroStrategy and Silvergate during the bull cycle? Fantastic question. Fantastic question. What happens if you're invested in Silvergate, right? What happens if you're invested in MicroStrategy? What happens if you're invested in Tesla? By the way, the title of this video, right? What's the title of this video? It's something, let me pull it up. Let me get it right over here. Right, Bitcoin doesn't need Elon, right? We said that before Elon said it was inevitable, when he said it was inevitable, when we understood he was going to be purchasing Bitcoin on Tesla's balance sheet. But we said that even if Elon doesn't do it, Bitcoin doesn't need Elon. What happens in Bitcoin is going to happen either way. Because if it's not Bitcoin, it's going to be some nation state somewhere. I mean, if it's not Tesla, it's going to be some nation state elsewhere. We didn't expect the corporations to get involved putting Bitcoin on their balance sheets. That wasn't really part of the gameplay for a Bitcoin cycle and what was going to happen and the adoption taking place. That's like added rocket fuel, and it is rocket fuel, right? Elon needs Bitcoin. The world's second richest man, Jeff Bezos, has taken that title back. But Elon Musk, neck and neck for the world's richest man, taking $1.5 billion off of Tesla's balance sheet, taking that out of fiat and put it into Bitcoin. And that's where he got started. MicroStrategy just was going to have a $600 million offering to buy Bitcoin. They changed the offer. The demand is so great that it's now $900 million. That money's being raised at basically the cost of zero to buy Bitcoin. When are other people in the boardroom going to be like, Michael Saylor is absolutely printing money, right? When are we going to do that? Why are we not doing that? Do you exit these companies at the top of the bull market phase, right? I would imagine as you see MicroStrategy, and we have some more time to watch. I'm trying to look for the question over here. Let me get ahead and just delete that over here. Over here, my question is, would you exit crypto stocks? Whether maybe it's Riot also. I'm not familiar with Riot blockchain at all. I follow the price action on Silvergate. I don't follow the price action on MicroStrategy, but I think that they're outperforming like Bitcoin and Tesla. I don't know. It had gone vertical a week ago or so. I don't know what happened since. I don't watch it. Would I exit GPTC, which is tracking the underlying more closely? I'm exiting that without watching the chart when I exit Bitcoin. What about MicroStrategy? Probably, if you're seeing the price of the stock appreciate in correlation with the price of Bitcoin, then probably. It's a great question, right? We could watch what happens to these stocks. During the pullback, though, during Bitcoin's 30% pullback, Silvergate didn't pull back and continue going parabolic. So just of note, right? This is... Oh, maybe not. This is January 11th. Hold on one second. When was Bitcoin's pullback? January 11th. I don't know. It broke out? No. January 22nd. Yeah, I don't know. It was close. It had a bit of consolidation as Bitcoin did. It started a little bit before and ended a little bit before. Is there a correlation? I don't know. I have no idea. But it's a good question. So what else are we looking at over here? A couple other things I wanted to get into before we get into it. Yeah, prayers for those in Texas. Absolute prayer. There's something that I want to talk about. I don't know if it's going to be this session with you. This is here on Zero Hedge, and it's Zoltan. If you're familiar with Zoltan, every several months he basically says that the repo market's going to break. I don't know, but it's interesting in what he's talking about here. This is what I would consider a high level article, but stuff that like I salivate for. I enjoyed reading it. At the end, what's my conclusion? Well, let me tell you what it's about first. I'm going to get into it right now. This is very important. We've been talking about those rising yields, right? And we've also been talking about the Treasury getting ready to spend, right? 1.1 bill, was it 1.1? $1.1 trillion. The U.S. Treasury stimulus coming to you right away by the end of June. That's a massive amount of money that's about to hit the markets. And basically what this article is talking about, that right now, as things are, that banks, including Bank of America, including Citibank, the top three banks and Wells Fargo, on the side note, would simply not be able to just take in this money. They're not able to, unless the Federal Reserve removes limits on how much they could hold, they won't be able to take the money. Where's it going to go? Right? It's an amazing, and they're talking about why rates are rising because of all this money flooding into the system. This is on top of the $1.9 trillion of stimulus passed by the government. This is on top of the $1.4 trillion in monthly QE purchases from the Federal Reserve, right? So this seems to me, by the way, if you read through this article, and I highly recommend it, maybe I'll do a separate video reading through it with you. Maybe I won't, but if you read through this, and I'm going to go ahead and just put the link right into the chat right now, in case anyone wants to bookmark it for afterwards. It's just really, the conclusion is that there's a bunch of money, and there's about to be a bunch more, and I'm talking $1.1 trillion more. It's got nowhere to go. The banks can't even hold it. It sounds like absolute rocket fuel for me for Bitcoin. It sounds like absolute rocket fuel. By the way, what attracted me to this article was the word repo. If there are problems in the repo market, that's my main concern for the Bitcoin trade that I would be watching out for. And if I believed that there was an issue, I would be hedging my position, right? So I'm watching out for that always. But what they're talking about is not the type of repo problem that caused the problems early in September. And this article, I've talked about often with you how this all began in September 2019, when they first had problems with the repo market. They're saying it was a reverse effect. There was not enough dollars at that point. This time there are too many, right? So the result of there not being enough dollars back in September of 2019, that wound up being the massive market crash. Which brings up another point. People are like, Jordan, if you expect a pullback in the markets, right, a 10% correction on the equity markets, why not take that trade short? Like that's a good trade, right? By the way, how much is Bitcoin up since, in the past week, 10 days? Oh, 80%, right? So, but by the way, betting against equities, because equities are not normally falling, trying to look for that correction and or crash. I mean, you're taking this trade, you're taking this trade, you're taking this trade, you're getting burnt and burnt. I know people that lost a serious amount of money, basically from 2012 all the way to 2018, buying options, buying puts, right? If they were just writing call options, they would have made a fortune. I've never traded an option in my life, unless you're an expert. Really, just unless you understand time decay, how to price the option. I've never traded an option in my life. Where are we? 514 likes. Let's keep going over here. Jordan, I've been watching your channel since October. I'm so grateful for all the information you've shared with us. I signed up for your course to listen and learn more. I'm not a trader, and I don't know if I ever will be, but I'm excited to learn more and to get out at the top of the bull market cycle and jump back in on the next cycle with your guidance. I don't think you realize how many lives you're changing for the better. I really appreciate you. And the same day, just like the pie cycle, 2 messages saying the same thing. Pay attention over here. Jordan just wanted to say thank you. I got my best friend following your analysis shortly after around June of this year. August and June, relatively close. We both positioned in Bitcoin, and we're both starting your course this Sunday. Our plan is to follow your analysis while we continue to learn how to trade. We build our account now, learn, and grow it. We will be ready in 4 years for the next halving. Thank you for your time and knowledge. I love it. I love working with the friend. I love that he gets it, working on learning how to grow, learning on how to trade, why well positioned. And not only that, the time preference, looking out. I mean, Ann had the time preference too, looking out what to exit out of the Bitcoin bull market phase for that bear market. But over here, he's got it also 4 years out, thinking, what is the price of Bitcoin 4 years from now? I was talking about this last night with a bunch of friends. What is the price of Bitcoin? What price targets are we going to be, or levels are we going to be talking about for the peak of the bull market phase next cycle 4 years from now? That will be occurring roughly 4.5, 4.7, 5 years from now. I have no idea, because I don't even, the ones we're thinking about this bull market cycle are already dizzying. I don't need to think about those. But that's the exact, this is the type of people that make up Conquering the Markets. These are the type of people that I really want to work with, and I'm glad to work with. So listen, I'm so glad that you're joining this Sunday. Welcome, right? So what else do we have? One other thing over here. This was in the notifications. This morning I saw, AK wrote, Jordan, what's he talking about, right? And then over here we have the Moon, Carl the Moon, the YouTuber, saying, listen, who's the best person, that your favorite crypto YouTuber? And he's like, I mean, how can I not like that? Thank you for that. Thank you for that. That's awesome. If anyone's on Twitter right now, pull up a tab, right? And go ahead and either light up that with likes or tell Carl, yeah. I would love to go talk with Carl about the 4-year cycle, or anyone for that matter, anyone who wants to learn, right? Jordan, I have a plan this year for me not looking for financial advice, but more opinions. I plan to leg out of my crypto positions towards the top into interest yielding stable coins. My assets are with BlockFi. Was wondering if you thought about doing anything like this, and if so, what kind of stable coins do you pique your interest? I'll be doing my own research and following my plan, but just curious, So listen, thank you for the YouTube community you have built. Listen, what was it? 2 weeks ago in our live training session, Conquering the Markets live training session, we did exiting Bitcoin, what I plan to exit into Bitcoin, and just 3 ways to trade a bull market, the bull market phase. If you haven't seen that video yet, 3 ways to trade the bull market phase, just go down to the playlist over here of the 4-year cycle, and then go ahead and look over for the video that says 3 ways to trade BTC, the ultimate guide. This video is so important. So important. Make sure you understand that as we're in the bull market phase. And kind of like the bear market phase video of this, the first way, the easiest way, is to get into a stable coin collecting interest, right? I don't know what the interest on Bitcoin itself will be, but even if it was high, even if it was also 5-6%, I expect the asset to depreciate significantly in the bear market cycle. So I'm not going to be holding Bitcoin, right? Do I want to get into a stable coin? That's strategy number 1, the easiest. Talk about the risks, talk about what stable coins you want to be invested in. Listen, to dig in deeper it costs next to nothing. The resources and value. I highly recommend it if you want to go deeper into that. But that's just number 1. That's the easiest thing you could do. Maybe for my mom, it would be the best. For my mom, it would be the best. Oh, I wish I had audio right over here, system audio, to play this video over here, this parody of Christine Lagarde. So I'll do that tomorrow. That was absolutely awesome. I don't know if there was anything else. Oh yeah. So the system was breaking in September. Signs of breaking started in September of 2019 when the Fed I text my family in our family chat and let them know it's starting again. And that went on all the way through December. It was supposed to be fixed by the end of the year. It wasn't. They needed to continue. The system was broken, and then the world went on lockdown. and there was an excuse for the world went on lockdown. Everyone freaked out. That doesn't happen, right? The markets are not falling. The markets were falling here. Before they started falling, we saw what was happening on this channel together. Watch the videos. They're in the library below. We positioned ourselves accordingly, including riding hard the S&P 500, right? Because here the markets were crashing. I want to be involved at that point. What happened next, right? The reason that this broke over here was because of a dollar shortage. I'm worried that this could happen again, right? That would affect my Bitcoin position. Because let me tell you, if there's any type of crisis. Sorry, I was just reading Keith's comment over here. Thank you very much, Keith. I appreciate that from the heart. I'm so glad you appreciate the value of what's being shared here. And thank you for adding that value yourself in each and every one of you when I say that, Keith, because that's genuine, right? So the crisis I'm watching, and I'm concerned. The biggest risk to Bitcoin, in my opinion, or the trade that I'm in, is any type of liquidity crisis. I've been consistent ever since here when the Fed injected $4.1 trillion that we were seeing no signs of any type of dollar shortages or liquidity crisis, and that it would be, in my opinion, a long time before it happened again. So if I start seeing people talking about the repo market, I'm like, oh, wait, should I be alerted? What's going on? But they're talking about the exact opposite problem. Instead of having a shortage of dollars, now they have too many. What is the market's reaction going to be to that? This was the market's reaction to a shortage of dollars with the lockdown. What happened? Anyway, it was just a pin. The bubble was there. That's what I'm trying to say. The lockdowns were the actual pin, right? So what's going to be the pin this time? Will things keep going status quo? Will the Fed allow banks to carry just an infinite amount of money, making this a non-event? Or will all that money that has no place to go or goes to eventually find its way into Bitcoin? Because now we have the opposite problem. We have too many dollars. Is it eventually going to find its way into Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin going to be the asset, the black hole? Because everything else is losing money against it. That's what's happening right now. So anyway, just painting the picture. Just continuing to paint that picture as I do it. So I hope that answers your question over there about whatever it was. Let's keep going. Let's take a look. We got the equity markets off a little bit here, right? I'm not interested in calling a top here or saying that we're going to see. Actually, I think that's very dangerous. The question was, if you think we're going down, 8, 9, 10%, why not trade it? Well, I don't know that we are, or anything like that. I said very clearly, we were just bouncing off that resistance. That's quite normal price action behavior. It's all quite bullish. I'm not seeing anything bearish whatsoever. There's no way I would short a market making new all-time highs. That's crazy. What about Bitcoin? Would I short Bitcoin? Listen, and I said I will never say it publicly. I said in the training session, I will never say it publicly when I talk. Anyway, you have to watch the video if you want to see it. It's the live training session on my exit plans for Bitcoin. What else? Nasdaq. Also, again, I saw that yesterday. It was off a point and a half. It kind of rebounded. And look at that. That's beauty right there. Does everyone see what I see? Right? We got the breakdown, the retest, and then the resumption off. Right? So you don't have to trade it. There's better trades out there for us. But what you're doing is you're just completely continuing to teach yourself how to trade the markets all the time. By looking at all the markets that we look at, right? When we look at them, by the way, FX in 2020 went absolutely ballistic. In 2019, on this channel, November, December, I said, and I kept saying that for years, we've seen low volatility in foreign exchange. It makes it really easy to trade because it's very forgiving. You can make more mistakes. That's a fact. Now, then I said, look, this consolidation is going to lead to a massive expansion. Did I have any idea what was going to happen in 2020 and that we were going to see the expansion that we saw back in 2008? No, of course not, right? But after that huge expansion, to see markets then start consolidating, well, that makes sense. That's what they do before their next big move. You're seeing it happen right now in gold and silver, right? You're seeing massive moves on gold, and then you're seeing a long consolidation phase before its next big move. Now, do you think that move is going to be up or down? I think it's going to be up, right? Why would I say that? I mean, have you looked at what the U.S. government's doing to the dollar? Have you looked what the Federal Reserve is doing to the dollar? I mean, for me, have you looked at, like, there's too much money, the banks can't even hold it, as the Treasury now releases another $1.1 trillion to the markets. What's going on, right? Where does that take me? Back to gold. I was talking about foreign exchange and markets. Foreign exchange and markets. Silver also, huge up move, big consolidation, and then breakout, retest, resumption. I mean, silver looks like it's getting ready here for a huge leg up as well. That's the way I see it. FX coming off those big moves has consolidated. It's gonna start going again. But to be able to distinguish the fact of, like, what the behavior of the market, whether or not it's expanding or contracting, trading in a range, is very important. It's crucial awareness that you need to have, right? Anyway, CTM. Let's look at the DXY before I look at the euro, US dollar, and then I want to see what you're looking at over here. So right now on the DXY, right, we've been following this trend line over here. We know, first of all, and most importantly, that we are trading sideways in a range. That's number one, right? Now, yes, we've been trading for a while in that sideways range. So this could break out at any time, and that breakout could be big. And that breakout honestly could be to the upside or downside. I don't know which way it's going to break. If we break above this resistance and above this trend line, we start trading above 92.32, I'm going to think that this move could go pretty far, you know? Let's see what happens as we get into some really strong resistance, maybe around the 95.43 area, whatever. But right now I'm kind of trading sideways. Is it possible, because of what we're seeing happen over here, that we're going to see a huge move down on the DXY? Yeah, that's entirely possible, right? Because that was our base case. This channel over here this was, I think, January 5th or 6th. The first video I did back from vacation was on the DXY in the afternoon, and I showed you this channel in the 3-day time frame. I showed you how we broke down out of it, and I said that the next thing that could happen could be a bounce up and a retest of that channel. That's what happened, right? But are we being rejected by it right now? It looks like we're resuming off that, right? Or have the potential to resume if we resume off that, which looks like this right now. If we start breaking down, right, and then we take out that 88.40, the dollar could have a huge down move this year. We could be targeting much lower, down towards 80 and a half. That's a massive move in here, and there's not much, you know? So anyway, euro US dollar, let's take a look at it. I guess what I'm getting at today, by the way, is that FX soon might really be in play. So let's be ready. Let's be ready. Let's be sharp. And let's be ready for anything. Euro US dollar conquering the markets. Let's check it out. Yeah, Truth Capital often hear me say that horizontal carries more weight. Not when you're talking about these enormous multi-year trend lines. Not when you're talking about these multi-year trend lines. Right now, I would say, or say that, like, I was consulting Brad's work over there as well, and then along with mine on the DXY, the channel I had held. That's a pretty important signal to be watching. George, we'll check out the pound Japanese yen also. I'm very interested in that, right? Here we are at the US dollar. It looks sideways to me. It looks sideways to me, you know? Are you in an uptrend or a downtrend? Or, yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I guess it depends, you know. Here we're sideways. This is going, you know, since when? Since December. For the last few months, we're just trading sideways. We're trading up if you go back, you know, a little bit further than that. And we're trading strongly up if you look back deeper. Is this a place that, you know, the dollar is just sideways right now. I don't see the edge. I don't see the edge yet. So I'm going to wait before I take a position on the dollar. What about the Australian dollar, US dollar? Let me take a look at that, because the Australian dollar has been leading. We have this resistance over up here. Are we getting ready to break above it? If we do, I mean, that's a more attractive signal than the Euro US dollar, in my opinion. Euro US dollar this is clear. This is trading right up here towards 12-month highs. That resistance that we took 40% into, right? This looks like where I personally would rather have my time, attention, and capital. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the euro all of a sudden starts coming back into play. But then I'm looking for that sweet spot. I'm looking for that sweet spot of the trade, the high probability one. So that's what I do. What else? The pound Japanese yen. Let me check it out really quick. 736 likes. We've been on here for about 38 minutes. Equity markets now open. They're kind of where we just looked at them. I thought this session, I don't know, I've learned a thing or two, that's for sure. And if you do, please go ahead and smash the like button, help support my work, help support this channel, help get me fired up. Thank you for that. I really, just each and every time that you do that, just have in your head, Jordan's being like, thank you, because I appreciate it. Australian dollar, Japanese yen, we'll check that out as well too. This is the pound, Japanese yen. Let me step back for 1 second to the daily time frame. I got to get this out of the way. Here's the daily, right? So that's that big resistance. I can't say that we've cleared above it. So anyway, it's fuzzy over here. It's definitely fuzzy at that line of resistance that I have hidden. I'm trying to look at why I have it and where I have it. And it's a pretty good line. I could see the touches to it going back. And I see why I have that in there. And I spent a lot of time with it. I'm going to respect that line. This looks like we're trading above it right now. Is that the entry on the entry that has no name right now? Right? On pound Japanese yen? What's on the 8 hour? Yeah, no, it's not. I'm sorry. I like my line of resistance. There's no doubt that there's still some further stuff to work through, specifically over here at 149.10. So let me draw that in over there, right? Let's 149.10. Let's get a line of resistance up there. So I would feel very comfortable, by the way. I would feel very comfortable if price came all the way into that next resistance, right? And then pulled back even towards this support over here. Like that, I would feel comfortable with that. Price is starting to go vertical over here, right? Obviously, I'm late to it now. I'm not going to chase that. Would I have taken that bull flag into the resistance? Probably not. No, probably not at all. So I'm on the sidelines 100%. We were talking about this much lower, of course, right? Much lower. And not only that, talking about having much higher profit targets that we're looking at over here. Let me just go to the 3-day, right? We're talking up 155, that's like, all right. And then if we break out above that trend line, that opens up further upside. There's a big catalyst here. That was the Brexit deal, right? So there's a big catalyst here for seeing that appreciation we've been seeing on the pound all year long, something we've been consistent to focus in on, one of the strongest signals in FX. The entry up here, though, you're chasing price, obviously. You could pull up the true trend at any time. Pull up the true trend. Conquer trading and investing, and you can see any time that you have the trend CCI, first of all, has a pretty decent rating, let's say, for an extended period of time. That's a strong trend, and it could go a lot stronger. There's no question about it. But buying as the entry CCI is overbought in the trend. That's going to get you chasing momentum, and usually price is going to go against you pretty quickly. What you're looking to do for the entry, and again, I said I wouldn't enter on that bull flag coming into resistance, but the entries that you're looking for are when the entry CCI is pulled back down negative versus the direction you're looking to trade, because then as price gives you that entry, it's going to snap back up. It gets you into profit a lot more than you used to get into profit. Now it's what you do from it once you get into profit. What you're looking to do is those entries right around the horizontal support and resistance and or trend lines when they occur. So right now I don't see an entry on the pound Japanese yen that looks attractive, but pound Japanese yen is something that has looked very attractive to us all year long. So we're 6 weeks in. What's going on? I haven't looked at Ethereum. Ethereum deserves me looking at it. I apologize for that. Let's see what's going on over here. And yeah, Ethereum is broken. Oh, by the way, probably one of the most important things, right? We're looking at if Bitcoin now is unchanged. If Bitcoin was trading a little red this morning when I got to my desk, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, what a healthy cryptocurrency market. And you've heard me say that so many times as Bitcoin came off and altcoins started pumping. Look at Binance coin up another 17% today, BNB. I saw yesterday CZ tweeting. I'm sorry I don't have that up there for you. CZ, the CEO of Binance, tweeting that the amount of transactions taking place on the Binance smart contracts are greater than those taking place on Ethereum. I haven't looked into it, but if CZ said it, I certainly believe it. He provided a chart as well. And then he just asked everyone to retweet, got a massive, he said, just don't ask questions, just please retweet. And it was hashtag Binance smart contracts. You could see Binance over there reacting very well over there. So is that like, or whatever? I mean, whatever. I mean, I don't know the details of what's going on over there. But that seems interesting, finding out what's going on. If that's what you're into and you want to learn more, do you jump into Binance over here? We started on this channel together. On this channel, you go back to the videos over here in the first week of February. This is when we started lining up Binance and talking about Binance and adding it to my list and telling you why I was adding it to my list. It's an altcoin with a really good utility. It looks like that utility continues to get better. I'm not invested. I'm not going to invest. And that's that. But I have to. But it's a beautiful market. Look at Cardano up another almost 5% today. Right? Even versus Bitcoin, you're seeing Ethereum, Bitcoin run, Aave, Bitcoin. They haven't broken out yet against Bitcoin. Well, let's look at this 1 second together because it's been a while. We need to look at it right now. Main takeaway, very healthy to see Ethereum printing new all-time highs here. That's what we want to see, right? Gives Bitcoin a second to consolidate over here after breaking out yesterday. If it now resumes off here and starts running with Ethereum, both of these, I mean, 70,000 is really the next area of interest. Once we come in towards 70,000, I'm not saying that there's going to be a pullback, but as price was trading over here, as price traded over here, right? I said 150%. That puts us at $70,000. Nothing has changed. It's only happening, right? We're generally preemptive of everything that's occurring. Greg put it best yesterday. And he's like, yeah, the video that we put out in the afternoon talking about the equity markets and what rising yields might mean for them and how to think about that and how to approach that. He's like, Jordan, you have us all so dialed in that none of this is news. We're all so dialed in. And it feels good to be that dialed into the markets. I know there's not, again, it's a very special and unique thing. Thanks, Alan, always, and that's what's awesome about Twitter too. I love following Alan on Twitter. I love following the conversations with all of you. Anyway, yeah, I just track Monero. I always said this was not something that I would consider investable. Rising tide Bitcoin, lifting all boats, but I track it because of the use case, right? And it's got that privacy use case. I think it's important. So because I think it's important in the space, I track it. Same thing with Litecoin. All right, where are we? We wanted to look at Ethereum, right? And we all look at it. We've all been pretty much on the pulse of Ethereum, not as close as Bitcoin because that's the main focus, but we all have a very strong understanding. And it looks good. I'm very happy to see Ethereum pumping here. Sign of a healthy cryptocurrency market, in my opinion. When Bitcoin pauses and then you see everything else run. If Bitcoin pauses and comes off, and then you see Ethereum coming off and altcoins coming off, that's the sign of further pain ahead. That's not a good sign. That's an unhealthy sign, right? And it happens also in the bull market, but it happens. So what else are we looking at? Thank you, Thomas. Thank you very much. I love when I get to catch comments like that. It makes me so happy. Thank you. So what else? All right, let me see what else is going on over here. We've got 10 more minutes. FX, let me take a look at a few more pairs over here, especially let's looking at the Euro British pound, right? Wow. So look, this is important over here, right? So we could talk about this. I'm gonna talk about this really to those who watch each and every day with broad strokes since they've been following and understand. This was the line over here. Once we broke below that, we were looking to really the line of last hope to really go short on the Euro British pound. We were lining that up over this channel over here, and once it broke down, that was our warning signs that we might lose this line over here, and then eventually if we lost that back up, right? Eventually, we might lose that line of support, that last line of hope. And if we did, we were looking first to take out this support that since has been broken, turned into resistance. And now this one, right? Taken out. And I said, if we break this one, we could really, really go down and test something really much lower, like 0.84 over here, 84 cents. So it's all unfolding and it's all happening, right? But now something else is there to point out. I had this line of support, and don't forget, I had this line of support in from up here. So it was pretty far away. I feel like I did a good job, but look what the market is showing me. And I'm just going to move this broken support here, now turn resistance. And I'm going to move it up to the top of where the market showed it was resistance. And if you follow my mouse over to the left, you could see that there's a lot of touches at that same exact line. I didn't know in advance. I was in the right spot, but now that I see what is the right spot, I'm definitely going to clean that up, right? So anyway, just wanted to explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it so you all could follow and understand. So there, wow. So in FX, by the way, if you have been selective this year in the last 6 weeks, whether it's the Australian dollar, US dollar, whether it was the euro, British pound, whether it was the pound, Japanese yen, there have been very, let's say, very strong visible trends taking place. They just weren't on cross pairs, right? With the exception of the euro Australian dollar side, I missed this one. I missed this one big time. We looked at that yesterday. I don't need to look at it again, but it's true. I missed this one big time. And the pound US dollar too is another one that we've been very, very on top of. And some big moves taking place. Some big moves taking place. This kind of segues into the training session that we're going to do in about 40 minutes. So I'm going to stop over here right now. I think it was a good session. We covered a lot. I think we covered everything we need to cover over here. And I think that we all continue to have our pulses on the market. And that's the most important thing. That comes with a lot of work. That comes from me doing this every day, this analysis with you every day, continuing to paint that picture and put all the pieces together, right? Yesterday we were talking about like people like, oh, macro, you have to be really patient and trust your research. Are you kidding? No, the reason that we are viewing macro all the time, the reason that we are viewing what's going on in the financial landscape is so that we can be on the right side of the trade. We can't afford to be on the wrong side of the market. So I don't have that luxury, that patience. We got to be right. We got to put the work in. And all of you who do put that work in, right? And if you're listening now, most likely you're one of those people. You have a really good feel and read on the market. That's absolute. Most people, the professionals in the space, quote unquote professionals in the space, they don't, and you do. Think about that today, everyone. I wish we could go out with some music. I wish we could go, but I'm gonna fix that as soon as I can, or try my best. Hopefully tomorrow morning we got some nice music to get us going. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for making this such a beautiful experience. And may God bless you. So it's a great. I mean, listen, the market's always going to be there, and there's always opportunity. Position yourself well, and then spend more time learning with us. The market is always going to be there, and there's always opportunity. Stop chasing GameStop. That's not opportunity. That's missed. That's just it. That's nothing. Thank you, Gemma. Thank you, TJ. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. No music is so weird, right? It feels so like dial up. Thank you, RTC. Jordan. Man of faith. Everyone, have a beautiful day. Absolutely, Tammy. Have a beautiful day. Australian dollar, Japanese yen. That's another one we've been all over. Let's check it out just because I didn't look at it yet today. I mean, I like more attractive perhaps, right, than the Australian dollar, US dollar going sideways. Definite trend against the Japanese yen, but also I like the line of reference over here, right? The retest into it, then resuming off over here, another test of that because I know where I can limit my risk. I know where if this breaches that we're going to trade at least, in my opinion, down to 81.40, right? I know where my risk is. I like setting my trades off of risk. It's all about risk and risk. I don't know. I've not seen. Listen, Yogi, I haven't seen it or heard about it. I saw that podcast with Preston Fish and shared some things that Willie had said on that, but I know that I'm going to get out at the top. You know, I could look around me all across the internet. I know there's not anyone else as dialed in as myself and all of you to what's going on in Bitcoin. I know I'm going to get out the top. So I don't really, no, I haven't seen it. Everyone, have a beautiful day.